Hey guys, Banana Luck here. Welcome back to another Watch Your Realms video. Today we're going to take a look at the banners that are upcoming and talk about whether you should be summoning for them. So let's get the first obvious one out of the way. That's the Lizard banner that's upcoming. The great thing about this is that we're finally getting a 2x 20x banner again. We haven't had one, I think, since last year. Ever since we got switched up to the 20x rate, we actually haven't seen a 2x 20x since then. It is actually a rerun banner, so we did have this last year, and it's the same set of units. And honestly, the only unit that you should be looking out for here is Ferssi. You used to be able to say, maybe Salazar is decent, but with the change on single target arena, he's not used there anymore. So sort of outdated in that sense. So instead, the only unit that you want to focus on here is Ferssi, who is used in a lot of different parts of Guild Boss content, in Abyss one, in Samra. So the thing that makes him really strong is this passive that gives basically 25% AoE damage reduction. There's no other unit in the game that can do what he does in this regard. And there's also a new stage which is Gear Rate 224, which really needs Ferssi. For 22 and 23, you can still get by with Aelin and Halloween as well as a Sadie instead. But for 24, you really need Ferssi for the team to actually survive. You need the AoE damage reduction. So if you're struggling with Gear Rate 224, or if you're struggling with Samra or Abyss, then you really just need to get one base copy of him. But other than that though, this banner is a hard skip, even though it's a 2x 20x event. Even for newer players, I'll say that the random 2x banner is actually a lot better. Because I don't think Ferssi is gonna be that game changing for you guys, and Trust just doesn't really do much for y'all. Okay, now we want to talk about the other banner, which is a Vorn. So there's a few things to consider. One thing that not many people have mentioned is actually with the new poison team, there's actually a very big problem in Abyss 1. So if we actually head in here to take a look at the mechanics, this is where we normally place our units in this 4x3 section. You can see we have 6 platforms, but on the ground tile, we essentially only have four placements. Torador is right here. Behind Torador, you can put someone. But that someone has to be able to block meteor strikes. And the only unit that is capable of doing that right now is Kigiri. Other than that, it's going to be Salazar. But we know between those two, Salazar just doesn't do any damage at all. So that's not going to work out. And then with your other two melee units, with the new poison team, you're going to have Numera on the back end here, and then you're going to have your Wukong right here. So that covers all your ground units. Now, the problem. You have 6 platform units. You have Diao-chan, you have Aelin, you have Ferssi. Those are your 3 healers. That's done and sorted. You then have Nestia, and then you have Vorn, and here comes the problem. One more range platform, who do we actually put? Because a Lordless Silas doesn't really work, and with the Nightmare faction, there's really not that many Nightmare units that are range and single target actually works well here. In War Guides testing, he was showcasing Yuri, and with that lineup, I think he managed to snag about 29k blood on Abyss. And honestly speaking, you want 35k at the very least if you're going all out to, mix this set of units in. So yeah, that's the tough bit to reconcile. I think that as of now, the only workaround that I can think of is really squeezing in an Ingrid with a Lucius instead to deal physical damage. And then that's gonna also give the faction buff to Kigiri and Wukong as well. But then the problem is that you still have one more platform unit than usual. So what are you going to do about that instead? So that's one thing to consider before you guys summon. But I would say that if you already have Numera and Nastia, then you should just go ahead to get Vorn anyways, because eventually people will figure out the meta around that team, and then we'll probably figure something out along the way. But yeah, another thing to consider is that we don't actually have that many piercers that do magic damage. So we have Talon that came in a few weeks back, but people have tested her. She isn't that impressive. You have Hex that does amazingly well. I'm using Hex right now as my solo magic DPS. Not able to break the second shield, but I got a feeling that with A5 Hex and combine that with Vorn and the shield break, we might be able to actually do something, but no one knows for sure unless we can actually test that out on test server or actually pull this unit to get that. So those are the things to consider. He is Piercer and Esotericist at the end of the day. So even if you don't have Nastia, Vorn could still work if, let's say, like, you lack magic damage, and if Vorn is able to actually break the second magic shield, then we may be able to get around that, and with Hex on the Piercer faction, and then the physical shield shouldn't be a problem with the shield break on top of her A5 Kigiri and Wukong. And honestly, A3 Kigiri is good enough. A5 Wukong is the one that really gets the power spike. And I think that's one thing that when War Guides was testing, he was doing the reverse. He was using A5 Kigiri and A3 Wukong. So most people already have A5 Wukong. So if we flip that around, I think that the third physical shield may be actually manageable. But yeah, besides that though, if you're looking at Awakenings, then I think Vorn's A1 is probably the best one that you can get, giving a third unit shield break. And on top of that, the shield break percentage goes up from 30 to 40%. I'm not sure why they didn't list it in the description here, but you can see here the shield break is 30%. And the level 3 and level 5 description is for the hero's own extra damage to shielded targets. Beyond that, it's basically just boosting Vorn's damage. So I don't think that's as important as the base copy, as well as the A1 to give the extra shield break, given that the melee units are normally the ones get the shield break due to the high base attack that they have. So yeah, other than that though, there's another reason that you will be summoning on this banner, and that's gonna be the Hollow Epic that's right here. If you don't have Hollow, she's a game changer, especially in Guild Wars 1 up to Nightmare 4. So she's also going to be another reason that why people are going to be summoning on this banner, because you need a copy of Hollow, and then if you get a copy of Vorn along the way, then even better. But of course, he's probably going to shine best in the Nastia Numera team. With a Piercer, probably not as much, but we really need someone to actually test that out to see if that team works out. So yeah, in conclusion, if you are newer to the game, I still think the 2x banner is the best to go. Shouldn't summon on this because the rate up on these units are not that good for beginners. For Ferssi, it's going to be more for the mid to late game players that are still missing him. But Salazar and Trust aren't really that great anywhere else at the moment. And you also can feel Salazar anyways. So that's not going to be a goal for most newer players. And then on this special banner, it's only 20x rate up, so new players definitely shouldn't go for it. With Nastia and Numera, you should definitely try to summon one copy of Vorn at the very least. I would say do it with your Divines if you can. That's the reason why I didn't go for A1 Numera, even though I was at Divine Pity. Because I think that a base copy of Vorn is going to do a lot more than, A1 Numera. And of course, if you get Helga, she's going to be good for Styx Codex, but that's basically it. You won't be using her anywhere else. Maybe in Samra if you need a stun unit, but most people already have A5 Wukong nowadays. So yeah, that's going to be for the video. Let me know down in the comment section if you have any more questions on whether you should summon and what your concerns are. And yeah, if you have any questions, leave it down below. And if you enjoyed the video, do feel free to leave a like or subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.